Lunchtime at the Juice Joint Cafe in downtown Washington. Joe Yonan is a fan of their healthy soups.
That or the veggie burgers.
Yonan is a certified judge of barbecued meat, but his relationship with it recently went from passionate to platonic.
I think that meat can be beautiful. I think that it can be delicious. I just don't want to eat it.
That's significant because Yonan is the award-winning food editor of the Washington Post, one of the nation's largest and most influential daily newspapers. He says he recently became a vegetarian, partly for health reasons, and partly after overexposure at work. His column explaining his decision drew mostly positive responses, he says, and not just from vegetarians.
I got a lot of emails from people saying, I'm not vegetarian, but I'm trying to do more of that at home.
Many people are trying more vegetarian fare today. U.S. government figures show a 6% drop in per-person meat consumption from 2006 to 2010, the first major decline in decades. It's at least partly economic. Rising prices and a bad U.S. economy have made meat less affordable. But it's also generational, says environmental researcher Lester Brown at the Earth Policy Institute.
Young people today are just not so meat and potatoes oriented as earlier generations were.
Health concerns are one reason. Many studies link heavy consumption of red meat to higher risks of heart attacks, strokes, and cancer.
We're beginning to realize that too much red meat is not good.
Restaurants are responding with meatless options. Chef Christopher Roberson at Naj Bistro in Washington encourages people to eat vegetarian at least once a week on Meatless Monday.
People say don't trust a skinny chef, I was like, I'm like, don't trust the big one, he's going to do that to you,
But while meatless meals are catching on in the U.S., the demand for meat in emerging economies has grown, along with rising prosperity, says Lester Brown.
In other parts of the developing world, meat consumption is rising very fast. Brazil would be a case in point. And in China, we've seen enormous growth in meat consumption over the last couple of decades.
And feeding all those livestock takes a huge amount of grain and water. That poses serious risks to the environment, Brown says.
If the entire world were to move up to the U.S. level of grain consumption, we'd certainly need 2 planets the size of this one, and maybe by now 3.
So while the hamburger still rules the grill, the veggie burger may reserve a seat at tomorrow's table. Steve Baragona, VOA News, Washington.
All right. Thank you.